Welcome to Overgrowth, ladies and gentlemen. Spawning in the bottom left position as the red Terran player. Currently at a 1-0 deficit, risking losing his tournament life at the moment after defeating MMA. Let's see if he can bring it back and give us an entertaining third game. It is Happy. His opponent on the top right side of the map is so many people's favorite Zerg player in the world. Very, very strong competitive gamer with an incredible work ethic. He's 1-0 up right now, and he can't afford to slip up a series in the lower bracket. Will he make it forward? It's Liquid's TLO. And well, I imagine it'll be some time because both these players enjoy their macro games before we see exactly what's going on here. Both sides happy to macro up. In that game number one, Happy was a little bit susceptible to the counterattack by ground in his natural expansion. There was no forward bunker, there were no early siege tanks. He basically went very, very Thor and Hellion heavy for a while. And while he did a lot of damage, I guess, at TLO's natural expansion, most of it was against queens and static defenses. TLO lost some workers, but didn't lose that many, was droning up behind it, and made 2 spore crawlers and 3 spines. So he knew what he had to do to avert this kind of attack, and therefore the Hellbats didn't actually get all that much damage done, and the counterattack from TLO was simply impressive. So Happy, banking on that, unable to make it work that time around, and we see a command center first on the low ground coming out of him here, interestingly, on Overgrowth, against the Zerg and TLO that's gone spawning pool first. We'll see if that ends up making a difference in what TLO chooses to do early game. So let's go ahead and check that out. We have the barracks going down now. Of course, no gas is being taken yet because he needed those minerals early on for that. And the first 4 Zerglings are now coming out. This could end up frustrating Happy very, very much indeed. Know that he got the first 6 Zerglings out actually before TLO opted to put down this natural expansion. So this could be a big problem at the natural here. TLO... Ooh, he's gone. Hang on a second. There's an SCV coming out, and that's a little bit late. Let me just double check and see what's going on here. We'll be able to spot the command center, and he goes, ha ha ha, I have Lings on the way, and I know you don't have Marines yet. So let's see if Happy's gamble is going to be able to pay off. He'll have his first Marine in production, possibly finished. No, not finished. By the time these Lings get here, they're already past his defensive watchtower. The command center is at least going to finish. I don't think he can stop the orbital command going up, but there's no gap here, and he can move into the main base. Here come the first 4 Lings, and, well, at least one of these SC... I'm going to raise this, but we really need the second one. There's the second one. Unfortunately, this means that this little guy's life is currently kind of forfeit. The first Marine should just... The supply depot is going to go down. It does go down. It gets cancelled, though. That SCV goes down. We have only a single Marine to defend here, and all 4 Lings are now inside the main base. Not quite able to kill off that SCV, and 2 more SCVs plus the Marine should be able to defend against it for now. But no, more Lings on the way here. Still only the single Marine. A second one about to pop out here for Happy. He is struggling to defend against this, and that first Marine is coming so close to going out. Great zoning out by the SCVs, and despite being on red, wow, that was fantastic micromanagement there from Happy. And still saves the first Marine. That was an incredible piece of work by our Terran player, and this is going to get cleaned up. The orbital command is up on the low ground there, and unbelievable micro from Happy there. 2 workers have been killed. He's gotten away with the command center first, but behind this, we have the natural expansion up for TLO, and his third base is 3/4 of the way done as well. Really cool bit of micro. And we have a Roach Warren. Now, this Roach Warren, well, it's... I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Roaches and potentially Banelings to come out here trying to continue the aggression, but Happy defended that like an absolute boss considering the position he was in. Right. Now, no bunker being rebuilt here, and that has been to the detriment of Happy several times, I have to say, today. But TLO is going to come in with the Overlord and immediately spot that. He's also going to see what kind of tech is he going to see. He's going to continue moving further here. He will be able to see the reactor on the factory if he chooses to do so, but knows that there are Marines out here, so he's perhaps not going to venture that far. He will at least be able to see the Hellions when he moves out to this kind of position, though. So all seems fine. 5 Roaches already in production for TLO. Whether or not he chooses to be aggressive with this or not, he is still... he's still going to be able to comfortably defend it. Wow, nice there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Happy knows that Overlord is there, did tactically move his Hellions to very specifically this position before moving them out. So TLO didn't know until he got halfway across the map that the Hellions were in fact outside of his base, but you know what? With roaches there, I don't think it matters very much. He's cancelling the bunker there. Oh, and he's just going back home. Now, see, no bunker here could prove to be really frustrating once again for Happy. He's moving all of his SCs back into his main base. Doesn't even want to try right now. And he's using the SCVs to fight. We have Marines, we have Hellions. Roaches are very hardy against both these units, and a lot of mining time being lost here right now. A couple of SCVs going down as well, and now we have Marines being targeted. This aggression is going to get taken up, but TLO is going to be happy that at least he's managed to stop a lot of mining time. And wow, another building being cancelled there from Happy, so he's bumping this build a little bit. Not playing the best in this particular game. The worker count, by the way, is 51 to 28 right now. TLO is doing nothing but droning up behind us. He's going, right, let's see what I can do with the first 6 links. Oh, wow, I did that. Well, let's go ahead and see if 6 roaches to follow up will do just as well. It turns out, you know what, they did pretty darn well. He's been droning up behind it. There is a spine crawler going down to the third base, and here come Le Hellions. A lot of spore crawlers going down right now. A couple of workers are getting fried, but nowhere close to the number required right now to completely stop this aggression. Are we going to see the Hellions get into the natural expansion? This could change the course of the game if a lot of these drones get roasted here. 2 more go down, another 2, and actually these Hellions are doing a good job, so the counterattacks from Happy. In fact, this series has involved a lot of counterattacks right now. 4 more drones looking like they're going to go down as well, potentially 5 or 6. These drones continuing to chase the Hellions around, but I'll tell you what, there aren't enough roaches to zone this out. We're going up to 13 workers killed versus 7 in this game. Happy continuing. He might get 1 or 2 more if he's lucky. Gets at least 1. And now these roaches are going to corner them. So at the end of that, guys, we have 41 drones, now 42, versus 37 SCVs for Happy, which isn't bad. And this third command center is being started now as well. So both sides trading blows early on in the game. TLO did enjoy a fantastic period where he was mining a lot while those roach attacks were ongoing. And, ooh, hang on a second, he can't afford to send a couple of roaches for a counterattack this time around because Stim is complete and this firearm is going to be knocking on the door. So in this game of counterattacks, it looks like it's Happy's turn to try and swing things in his favor. We have the spine crawlers being routed at this ramp, but what if the army moves straight up into the third base? There's not an awful lot of static defense there right now, and both spine crawlers and a decent number of queens are here. Not quite connected by creep. That's going to affect the queens a little bit, and this single roach is going to spot the army is coming in. Right. Are we going to see repositioning? Yes, we are. As quick as possible, but look at how slow these spine crawlers are across that gap. Look at how slow the queens are across this gap, and the battle is already commencing. Is it going to be enough? The spine crawlers are there, but they're not rooted yet. At least the queens are here right now. I think it might just about be enough for him to hold this. One of the queens is getting very dangerously close, but it hasn't actually gone down yet. They're moving off creep momentarily, but with the spine crawlers down, I think TLO is going to be able to hold this. He's 94 out of 94 supply right now, and he is transitioning into mutas, but he needs more overlords. Okay. 2 more on their way right now. Behind this, 1-1 is on the way as well for Happy. He can safely retreat knowing that he forced a very, very defensive posture from TLO. Should really send a couple of Marines to take out this Overlord at the third base right now so he avoids any nasty surprises once this orbital command completes. Wants that to be delayed by as little as possible. And we have a Baneling speed on the way for TLO as well, in addition to those 2 evolution chambers. So his next push could end up being a 1-1 timing here with the Mutalisks to harass in the meantime. And there we go. Happy wanting to grab his third base, stimming to kill the Overlord because he wants every single second worth of creep rescinding from this third base location. And, well, he'll be able to land immediately, but he will be able to land fairly shortly after hovering his stuff there. So, not too bad there coming out of him. I love these 2 links at the 4th location as well from TLO. Just keeping tabs on that, waiting to see when it gets taken in case he has some sort of timing he can do against it right now. He's only got 3 Mutalisks on the map, by the way. Very, very few. Now a 4th one in production, just waiting to see if he can stop something. And we can see the double drop going into the main base. A lot of Marauders, actually, and a Hellbat with this composition. So they're going to be very, very hardy against the Roaches. But here come the Mutalisks, and there's nothing that can shoot up in here. So the Mutalisks are going to be able to pick off the Medivacs as well. And the drones largely get away unharmed. We've got a couple more drops going down in the natural expansion. Number of workers still climbing to 26 this game, but TLO is droning and making Mutalisks behind this as well, so he's not feeling too disturbed by this. The third base has basically been left untouched. The static defense in the spine crawlers is still there. and he's getting his creep spread out into the middle of the map. Happy, though, he's completed taking his third base. He's getting 3 missile turrets up to try and deal with these Mutalisks and to limit the angles from which they can attack, and he's got a lot of Marines. Those Marines have the 1-1 upgrade, and he's got the Hellbats with this composition as well. TLO now trying to take out the third base. This bunker will have to be cancelled. The missile turret getting a couple of pot shots off at the Mutalisks, and this bunker, well, it's going to get continuously denied. We've also got Banelings here as well. That bunker doesn't get cancelled the second time. It looks like Happy's going to have to commit to this. He's way out on the left-hand side of the map right now, and this third base might even go down. It's going to take forever before an SCV can repair it, so let's keep an eye out on that. Happy certainly doesn't want to lose his command center, but he is moving out towards the third base with a huge army right now. Army supply 74 to 64 in favor of the ZerG, but we have some defense coming in here. Yes, the orbital command goes down, and to be honest, that might be mission accomplished for TLO, because he has to be seriously careful against this much DPS from the Marines. We now have the attack starting at the third base location. First spine crawler goes down, Queen goes down, second spine crawler goes down. TLO is not even going to contest this. He's looked at the army size and he says, hang on a second, I need to go back and defend it my natural. So both sides taking out each other's third bases right now. The orbital command did go down, don't forget, for Happy. But 2-base Terran versus 2-base ZerG, as long as he can keep his army alive, Happy has to be pretty pleased with this situation right now. A Spore Crawler going to complete in the back of this base, but that's really doing nothing but buying time. And here comes TLO. He's saying, right, I need to clean up this army right now. Excellent Baneling hit with that 4th Baneling. The first 3 actually getting taken down, and these Mutas and Roaches are going to be able to comfortably clean up, and that gives TLO a good-sized army advantage. The upgrades, by the way, are 0-1. He's got the Carapace for his Roaches and Banelings, and I believe melee upgrade level 1 as well on those Banelings. The Mutalisks are going to be flocking towards now the natural expansion to see how much damage TLO can get done. He's got 15 of them on the field right now, alongside 14 Roaches and a bunch of Banelings. Wouldn't be surprised to see more of them morphed in. There we go. And he's going to see what damage he can get done here. Oh, if he can stop that third base from completing, that's going to be great, but I don't think he's going to get in there quite in time. The orbital command will begin making... He might have to cancel and float if the attack comes in sooner rather than later. Nope, he's not even going to make it. He just wants to fly in ASAP. And we can see the Mutalisks here thinking about where they want to go. It looks like the main base isn't going to be an option thanks to those missile turrets for now. But behind this, you know, TLO is buying time so he can grab that third base at the gold. So he's retaking his third. And good job spotting those Baneling landmines as well. That's actually huge from Happy, because the first couple of Baneling landmines usually comes as a surprise to a Terran player, and then they start scanning. Well, guess what? That initial scan spotted the first few, and now he's moving in, but look at the number of Roaches coming in behind this. I'm not sure he can cope with both the Roaches and the Mutalisks at the same time. A lot of DPS from the Marines, though, might prove me wrong. If we get a couple of good Baneling hits, we don't get a couple of good Baneling hits, and now the Marines are focusing down the Mutalisks, and TLO, unfortunately, not able to do very much in that engagement. Or are there Baneling landmines around here? No, there are not, and a lot of his Roaches are currently forfeit. A great job there to constantly focus down what he saw as the priority units. Happy first focused the Mutas. When he saw the Banelings, he focused down the Banelings. Just really good stuff. And there are Baneling landmines at his third base location. So if he can tempt the army into... Oh, no. Okay, he needs a Zergling run by here. And, oh, very nicely spotted, and that is going to get taken out there. No, he suspected what was going on. So Happy holds that very comfortably. It's 65 versus 50 army supply, and it's 2-2 versus the 1-1 at the moment of TLO. Happy might have timing against the third base here if he wants to go and attack the gold, but he doesn't know the gold's even been taken yet, so TLO's army is going to get exponentially stronger from this point onwards because of that additional mineral income. We see a single Marine moving out across the left-hand side of the map, but he's not going to spot until he comes up here, and we have another attack coming here from the Mutas against the SCVs here. He should be able to pick out the missile turret if the army wasn't here. Unfortunately for him, the army is, and Happy's constantly trying to zone out TLO to see if he can't pick apart these Mutalisks. Ooh, and they're in no man's land right now. Has to try and move out across the middle. A couple of the Mutas might go down. No, actually saving them all as well and making their way out. So really good plan there. TLO also taking the top left base as well as his old third. That's going to put him onto 5 bases total versus the 3 base Happy right now. He has started his 4th command center, and he's saving scans now to try and stop Baneling landmines. There are still a couple here, and every time he scans, of course, it costs him approximately 280 minerals. So for the rest of this game, Happy's going to have to be spending those scans on trying to make sure there aren't any Banelings in his path. And that's really important for him right now. Big scan there. Oh, just misses the bailing landmines, but a second scan will spot them, and he's now trying to take out the goal. Is TLO going to defend against this? He's morphing more bailings. It looks like he wants to try. A whole bunch of units moving over there. That's because he wants to deal with the drop inside his main base. A double drop, doing a lot of damage right now. Picking off a Sporkle. He might even get the lair if he's not careful, but sending most of his army back here, and that could be at the cost of the gold, though, because Happy is slow pushing into the gold base. If TLO is able to defend against both of these, I feel like he's just going to be in a great position. 160 versus 128 supply. That gets defended. The gold base doesn't look like it's dead just yet, and we have speed bailings coming in as well, trying to elevate onto the high ground, but it's not going to be enough for Happy. The Mutalisks are also on their way to defend this gold too, but there are still units here from a Terran perspective. The hatchery is now at about 50% hit points, and TLO is going for a counterattack. He said, right mate, you have the gold, but you know what, I'm going to take absolutely everything else on the map, and oh my goodness, that's a lot of speedlings here. The Thor is going to get taken out pretty quickly, and the Mutalisks are going to be the deciding factor here, because if there's nothing left that can shoot up at the end of this, the Mutas are going to do insane amounts of damage, but look at how low they're getting, so many of them on red health. The gold base has dropped. Only 3 Mutalisks left. Is it going to be enough? A couple of bailings getting in. We is now into the natural expansion, but the reinforcements are going to be fine there. What's going to happen in the third base? GG. It's not enough to take it down, and Happy, ladies and gentlemen, wins game number 2, forcing a decider between him and TLO to determine who moves on, I believe, to face Saxry in the lower bracket here at the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifier.